to create a sequence, new item, and what I did there was just right click. Let me do that again. I just right click, new item, sequence. I'm going to pick a 1080p timeline, and we'll just call this walking through fields. And you'll see why we're calling it that way in just a second. Sweet. What you will notice now is Premiere has created a timeline for you. This is where you're going to be dragging audio and your video footage. Double click footage here. Double click this icon view so I can see what we're looking at. And this is the footage that we're working with now. I'm going to make some room here on this side. Should be good. You know what? We can even. Perfect. Now, so what we've got here in this bin is footage of a young lady walking through the fields here, and if you take your mouse and you scrub through, you just run through it, you can see the motion for each one, which is really awesome. So that makes it easier for you to tell your story. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do here is to get our first shot, our first establishing shot. I really like the way this looks here. It's sort of like mysterious, if you will, in the beginning. So we'll start with this one. We'll double click. I'll bring my marker here. Let's see, then we can just play this. That's awesome. And we'll just hit O for our out point. Okay, so what you want to do is, for instance, I'll click here. If I want to start with this section, I'll hit I for my in point and O for my out point. And now we've cut right here, which is a great place to dock off, if you will. So what Premiere is saying here is that the clip that's being pulled into this, it doesn't match the sequence. So either the sequence is smaller or bigger than the clip, or vice versa. So what we'll do here is we want to keep the existing settings and say, yeah, that's what we want to work with. Okay, so we got our first cut there. Okay, so remember that we have this opening here. She stops off here. She's looking right here, and I think that's a great time to kind of show maybe where she is in space, or maybe how she starts before, you know, the run up here. So we can double click here and let's play this. Okay, so I think that was good there, right when we started off. We'll hit I to create an endpoint. She looks up and smiles, and I say that's pretty much a good point to cut there for me. And you'll just drag by clicking on this here, drag video only. Awesome. And that's the next cut there. And why don't we go ahead and show, let's see what movement this is here. Let's see what she's doing here. Oh, that's good. And you know, a tip that I would really recommend is that don't get married to a piece or maybe to an idea that you had, and be open to what the film or what the video might lend to you. Because for instance, I'm looking at this here and I'm like, you know what? I think this is actually, let's try this. It might look really good here.
We know we'll be into it most of the night. We know we'll be into it most of the night.
And I'll just bring this back here. Yeah, I think that's way better. Look up, she's smiling there, and you know what? We'll just cut there, and that's a good place to cut here. Awesome. 26 seconds. This is your time here. 26 seconds of goodness. So let's just add a couple more pieces to continue to tell the story. Let's get a nice close-up shot of her here. And let's see what she does. You can also click on the playhead, as I'm doing here, and just scrub through if you want to see what's happening before you choose a section to cut from. So I'm going to scroll up here. I'll hit I there, and I'll scroll up here. She looks off into the sun. I think that's awesome. Sweet. We'll drag the video section here onto our timeline. And it's a nice addition there. Let's get another look here. That's a nice look. There's one here where she was running. Let's see if we can find that one. Perfect.